Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. A wonderful day to all of you. Welcome to the Institute of Global Professionals. Thank you for joining us. Today is another live session of free international webinar here in IGP. My lovely audience, and I am Marbeth from the Philippines, and I am honored to be your host of the day. I'm so glad to be with you once again in this virtual world. If there is a thing that we should be thankful about during the pandemic period, I think it's the opportunity that it provides for us to gather or convene virtually through this international free webinar brought to us by the Institute of Global Professionals, or IGP. I hope that everyone will stay with us until the end of the program because we have a lot of things in store for you today. Here in IGP webinars, you do not just listen to our speakers, but we encourage your participation through our quiz competition and the Q&A part. In our quiz competition, the top 10 participants will receive the quiz completion certificate that is right after the event. This will be posted in IGP's Facebook page, then it will be ready and available for you to download. This will be followed by the Q&A part of the program where everyone will have the opportunity to interact with our speakers or speaker by sending in your question in the comment section below. During our live show, there will be questions that will pop up on your screen. These allow you to engage or share your opinion about the topic being discussed or the topic that has been discussed in our previous sessions. Simply send your idea or in the comment section below. And every day during our live session, we award certificate of lifetime membership to the most active and consistent participants. So, what are you waiting for? Share our live event to your friends and to your community. Send comments and feedback in the comment section. Who knows, you could be the next recipient of IGP's certificate of lifetime membership. And take note, the e-certificate soft copy will be provided to all the active participants. In the latter part of the program, we will give you the certification code together with the certification process on how you can generate or auto-download your e-certificate. With this, everybody is encouraged to stay with us until the end of the program because lots of exciting things awaits us today. I'm sure that all of you will have many e-takeaways and payoffs from this webinar. I'm proud to tell you that every day many new participants are joining with us. And I would like to welcome you, all of the new participants, to IGP's global family. With this, I am compelled to give you a little background about IGP. The Institute of Global Professionals serves as a student and community resource providing holistic social work and education to create a proficient generation. We make it gettable to use for every knowledge seekers to originate personality which is more ambitious and more confident to face any circumstance in developing own skills. We believe that it is not effective to increase one's skill by just acquiring formal education, so we provide training and consultation to generate a proficient generation. Through webinars, trainings, offline and online courses with best speakers and highly trained coaches from all around the globe to cater you with the best learning platform. I'm proud to inform you that IGP is an ISO Training and Education Institute. We are entrusted with international recognition. We are globally accredited, and IGP is your trusted platform to learn new things from the global leading leaders. IGP is the leading online skill development institution with thousands of learners worldwide. Our mission is to empower people and enhance their skills through webinars. Most importantly, we are committed to serve. IGP is bringing the community of professionals to grow together and learn from each other. Here in IGP, learning never stops. We wish that you remain with us in this endeavor. Ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to be associated with IGP as a global member. I would like to take this opportunity to welcome all of you to the Institute of Global Professionals Free International Webinar. Once again, I am Marbeth, a core volunteer of IGP from the Philippines. I am so privileged to host today's webinar. With this, I would like to say let's watch together and learn together. We believe that the power is gained by sharing knowledge, not by hoarding it. Did you know that as of yesterday, we have already successfully completed 423 webinars in various topics of your interest? Yes, and all of these are available in our website that is www.eduigp.com. Again, that is www.eduigp.com. Feel free to access them anytime. You may also check all recorded webinars anytime on our Facebook page, Facebook group, and YouTube channel. We expect that all of you are getting a little bit benefited both in your personal and professional life. From time to time, you may like, share, tag your friends, and write comments. Share us how you feel about IGP and what you think about IGP. You may also share us how IGP is being helpful to you both in your personal and professional development. And also don't hesitate to ask questions or write feedback. We appreciate suggestions that will help us innovate the program in the comment section below. All of this will be greatly appreciated. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our Facebook page, Facebook group and YouTube channel. You may make sure to click the bell button below to be notified with our live streaming every day. Please support us by spreading the news about IGP's free international webinar to your friends. Your support is greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. And as usual, before proceeding to our program, I would like to greet some of our active participants from the FB Live and YouTube channel live streaming. I would like to greet our early birds today. All the best to Sultan Shaikh. And also, good afternoon to Sir Alex Javier Alvarez. Good afternoon, Ma'am Evelyn Oferi. And good afternoon, Ma'am Hamela and Geronimo. Also, greetings to Angelo Rady and also to Andre Palion. Hello, Ma'am Lydia Pausal. And also, good afternoon to Mary Norton Sherlyn Nazareno. Good afternoon from Loreto Reyes. And hi to Shireen T. Sobremisana. And good afternoon to Sir A.K. Adhikari and also to Rodel Ramos. Hello, sir. To Katugal, Patricia Yvonne, good afternoon to you. And Andre Palion, hello. To Joshua Diego, hello. To Lunax, hello there. And also to Gular Hosanova. And also to Joyce Ann and Marvick Villanueva. Hello, hello to all of you. Greetings to all of you. How I wish I could read all of your names. How I wish I could greet all of you. But of course, we have to proceed with our program. This time, my dear audience, before I call our speaker, I want to request everyone to please use your magic pointy to click all together. Let's do it together. At the same time, let's click the share button below. Please share our live streaming today. Okay? At the count of three, 1, 2, 3. Did you share it? Okay, thank you. Great. That's good. Remember, IGP is our community. The only way we can support this community is by sharing our live events and through our check-in. Thank you so much. Without further ado, let's start the program with the IGP's mantra, Feed Your Skills, Innovate, Inspire, Impact. For today, we are presenting the webinar number 424 on types of learning disabilities. Indeed, we are very much privileged to have with us a distinguished speaker from India. She is an English and Hindi facilitator at International Delhi Public School. She is an exit-trained states teacher in exit states curriculum, and she is also a CBSE Central Board for Secondary Education syllabus at Pratibha High School. She is also a TEFL qualified. that is teaching English for foreign language. At this juncture, I would like to invite on screen our keynote speaker from India, Ms. Muhammad Afifa. Hello, ma'am.
Hello, ma'am. Good afternoon.
Yes, good
Good
afternoon to
afternoon.
you, ma'am. Before proceeding with your presentation, you might probably want to share something about yourself to our audience first.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you for your warm welcome, ma'am. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Good morning, good evening, everyone, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to welcome all the participants of Institute of Global Professional. Myself, Mohammad Afifa. Let me introduce myself. First of all, I have completed my master's in commerce and in Hindi. Right now, I'm working in International Delhi Public School as a language facilitator. Recently, I have completed my TEFL teaching English in foreign language 400 hours from Asian College of Teachers, and I have completed my bachelor's of librarian science from university, and this is an immense pleasure to be the part of Institute of Global Professionals. I would like to thank everybody of IGP member who is working beyond the stage and who is giving the platform for all our newcomers to perform in our social media live. And it would be a great pleasure to me to start over with my presentation. Can I start, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. In the name of the Allah, the most merciful and beneficent. So, audience, I would like to present about learning disabilities. My presentation is about learning disabilities. The main concept of the learning disability is about the disability is not a disease, just it's an factor, a common factor which a human, a person, an adult, a child, everybody is going through in present society. So the main so, my main motto of this webinar is to overcome and to develop a positive attitude in the people and to take out all the negative thoughts in the mind which they are having about the disability and to develop a positive atmosphere towards the people those are suffering from disability. First of all, what's a disability? A disability is not a disease. It is a common factor which we can find in children and even in adults as they are grown up from childhood. These disability factors also increase. A no child or no person is born by a disability. It's just a common factor a person will get in from his childhood age. As they are grown up, they are going to get this a disability. A disability is a condition which makes it difficult for a person to do certain activities effectively in the daily life basis. It makes them to not to perform well. It makes them a slow. It makes them to face some difficulties in the daily life. My main motto is to tell what is a disability and how to overcome the disabilities and what are the signs and symptoms of this learning disabilities. Today's agenda is learning disability. What exactly the disability means, the history of disability, the characteristics, types, causes, symptoms, ways to handle. No person in our society, in our world, is meant to be disabled. We are usually people, mostly few of them are treating them as say some a disease. It's not a disease, it's general a factor. It includes parental health behavior such as smoking, drinking during pregnancy, complications such as during birth, and exposure of mother or child to high level of environmental toxins. At the time of a pregnancy, mostly few of the ladies generally face some issues, mental issues, social, psychological issues. Due to that, they will going to get this type of disabilities. It's not a very dangerous disease. It's meant to be not a disease. It's a common factor every person will have. So let's go through this. What exactly it means? It's a learning disabilities or the problems that affect the brain's ability to receive, process, analyze, or store information. These problems can make it difficult for a student to learn as quickly as someone who is not affected by learning disabilities. This the child or a person who is suffering from disabilities, they can't perform the brain, they can't receive the exact information what we are giving to them. As when they are going to the schools or in colleges or somewhere to educate themselves, when they're receiving some information, they can't produce it, they can't receive in the way as others may receive it. Some may, there are different forms of disabilities. It's not like that usually we quickly judge that they are having some disease. No, they are affecting from a disability. So, who started the disability? What is the history of disability? Dr. Samuel Crick in 1960 at April 6, 1963 conference on exploration problems of the perceptually handicapped child. He is Dr. Samuel Crick. In 1960, he is the first person who identified the disability in the child. At first, you have seen he is one of the teacher in United States of America. There, when he was in the school, when he's teaching to the kids, a group of kids, he has identified one of the kid who is facing some difficulty even in identifying the numbers. Then he identified that this is going to be something weird. There he introduced some a group of parents and educators met in Chicago at Palmer House. At 1970, US schools only 5 children with disabilities, including blind, deaf, emotionally disturbed, had an intellectual ability. He has identified in 1970 only the 5 children who are suffering from this. Among them, there he identified a disability is not only a blind and deaf, emotionally disturbed person. It is also a child or a person who is lack of behind of learning something. What are the main characteristics of learning disabilities? What are the main characteristics of learning disabilities? Usually, bad decoding skills. They are unable to identify the main concept of what the teacher is going to deliver them. They are poor in identifying the skills. Bad reading skills. Neither they identify the letters, sounds, formation of sentences, alphabets. They are facing a lot of difficulties in this. Lack of self monitoring on reading skills. When they comes to the reading part, they are unable to read the context it is because they are suffering from disabilities. Are the disabilities are common for every person or every child? No, I mean to say no, because every person is having a different types of disabilities. Every person. Poor vocabulary skills. The main thing is poor vocabulary skills. We can usually see in our society, in our home, our friends, our family, our kids. Usually, they are very poor in vocabulary skills. We usually generally give them as a tag that they are very poor in education. No, it's not like that. They are poor in vocabulary skills. They are suffering from a disability. Disability is something is lacking them to present themselves into the society, which is not allowing them to present to the outer world. Next, finding hard to understand high frequency words, grammar, and writing. They face a lot of problem in frequency words, grammar, and basic structure of writing part. They can't find easily. It's difficult for the child, those who are suffering from a disability. Poor calculation skills. It means a math. The child who is suffering from disability, they are having the quality of identifying a difficult pattern, difficulty in math, bad in memorizing things and events. They are not that much good in the explanation. They are not that much good in presenting themselves. They are not that much having a memory power to recall everything and to present to the outers. They will be very calm. They can't remember every part. They will be missing so many things. These all are the important characteristics, common characteristics, which we can find in the learning disabilities. Here it comes the types of learning disabilities. Today I would like to tell you what are the types of learning disabilities. There are many types of disabilities. First one, dyslexia. Dyslexia stands for a difficulty in reading. The child difficulty in reading. A child is there in the classroom. He's facing a lot of difficulty. What is the reason behind that? Is he poor? No, he's not poor. He's suffering from dyslexia. Simply, we can say that he's suffering from dyslexia. There are many types of dyslexia. First one, dyslexia. Next one, dyscalculia, difficulty with maths. The child who is suffering to present themselves, the child who is suffering to identify the numbers, digits, place values are meant to be dyscalculia. Next, dysgraphia, difficulty with writing. Some kids, some adults, they are facing a lot of problem. They are very good in oral presentation. If we ask anything to the child, simply they will perform it. Simply they will say orally very good. When it comes to the writing, presenting in exams, they will face a lot of problems. That the child is suffering from dysgraphia. Next, fourth one, dyspraxia, difficulty with fine motor skills. Difficulty with fine motor skills. Here, fine motor skills stands for the child, those who are unable to even hold a lid of the pencil. They will having a lot of problem at the beginning of the stage. Mostly in the stage of the kindergarten, these kids are many are there who find a lot of facing with dyspraxia. Next, dysphasia or aphasia, difficulty with language. They face, these kids or these the person who belongs to dysphasia or aphasia, they face a lot of problem in difficulty with language. They can't present, identify to speak even. Next, auditory processing disorder, difficulty hearing differences between sounds. This is usually happen nowadays, many of the people, not only in students, in even kids, even adults also we can see that they can't identify the differences in sound. When the teacher is saying something, teacher or educator or trainer, when they are saying something, they can hear something else. This is called as auditory processing disorder. Next one, visual processing disorder, difficulty interpreting information. Visual in the sense which you all know, whatever they see from their eyes visually, that they can't easily grasp that one. Simply they will just watch over this. When you're going to play some a video, when you're going to play some presentation, when you're going to say something important, they just simply watch over like that. Entire they will just watch it, but they doesn't know what they are watching. The children those who are under this category comes under visual processing disorder disability. Next, Next, ADHD, attention deficit and hyperactive disorder. It stands for attention deficit and hyperactive kids. Some of the usually people we will see they are very hyperactive. They won't stand, sit in one place. Usually they keep on moving. Usually they keep on distracting their minds for simple things. They won't listen teachers' instructions. Simply they will change their mindset. If 1 second, if they say one thing, in the second moment, they are going to change that thing. Those comes, the children, those who are having this much of hyperactive nature will comes under ADHD, attention deficit and hyperactive disorder. Last, autism. Autism spectrum disorder. Autism usually we can see in many of the kids. It is usually mostly among all the disabilities we can see autism people a lot in our society. The people those are said to be very calm, no smile, they doesn't interact much with any of the outers, not even with the family members. We should take initiation, we should move forward, and we should interact them. They can understand, they can speak, they can read, they can write, but they are very shy towards to present in front of others. They doesn't like to perform, they doesn't like to speak in front of others. They would like to create a separate shell for themselves. They want to be in that shell. The children or the people those who are in this category comes under autism spectrum disorder disability. So let's go through the each and every disability in a deep. First one, dyslexia. Dyslexia. You can see in the my presentation, the child is so much confused. He's just totally in confusion mode. This book is in front of him. Still he's reading something, he's unable to identify what is going through there. It's total in confusion mode. And you can see one lady over there, she's also too much of confusion. It's not as I told in the beginning, this disabilities are not only in the kids, even in elders also we can find these disabilities. We can usually find these disabilities when the child and the beginning from the motherhood to the grown up to unto the age of they become elder, we can see these disabilities. What is dyslexia? As I told, as I've shared, dyslexia. What are the signs and symptoms of dyslexia? It is a learning disorder that involves difficulty reading due to problems identifying speech, sounds, and learning how they relate to letters and vowels, decoding, also called reading disability. Dyslexia affects areas of the brain that process a language. The people who facing difficulty in reading, while coming to the child, he is unable to read even singular letter. He knows that it is the letter alphabet A, but he is unable to read that letter. He is suffering from dyslexia. What are the signs and symptoms? How can we identify if in front of us, if we have a child, how can we identify that he is suffering from dyslexia? Let me share you with some more points. Difficulty in learning rhymes, paying attention, listening to the stories. They pay a lot of less attention to listen the stories. Next, like listening to stories but shows no interest in letters or words. They doesn't show much interest on letters or words to pronounce. They doesn't like to speak. That's the reason they're not even showing interest in reading. The child or the person who is not having interest to identify the letters, it's difficult task for them to even read the textbook content. Next, difficulty in learning a letter or a song or to recite an alphabet even. They can't even identify even the alphabet. They face a lot of problem to identify the letters and to present. Because whenever we see the kids or the person who are facing this type of reading issues, they are supposed to be suffering from dyslexia. How to overcome this dyslexia? How to handle the children, those who are suffering from dyslexia? First point, be supportive to your child. Be supportive to your child. Trouble learning to read may affect your child's self-esteem, bring a self-confidence in your child's life. Just say them that you can do it. Next, talk to your child and stay in contact with your teachers, your child's teacher. So we should be frequently talking to the child. When we are keeping silent mode as the parents, when we keep as the teachers, when we keep on the silent mode, we doesn't know how the child is going through, what the child is going through in his mind and his heart. Usually we need to talk to the child, frequently contact with the child, and we have to communicate with the teacher also, that how he's performing in the school, what are the areas he's facing difficulties, how he's doing in his activities, is everything fine? Then we'll get some feedback. These are the steps to overcome a dyslexia. In this way, we can overcome the dyslexia, and this way we can sort out, we can bring out the child from the shell of dyslexia to the normal world. Next, dyscalculia. Dyscalculia. Stands for, it is a math learning disability that impairs an individual's to learn number related concepts, perform math calculation and problem solving and basic math skills. You can see in the picture there is a one girl looking at to the board, and she's totally confused. It means that she's suffering from math disability. Do you think so? Math disability is there? Yes, of course. Mostly, mostly. When we see, usually in a classroom, a child is having usually 6 to 8 subjects. He's very good, he or she is very good in all the subjects, but usually he'll be very weak in one subject. That subject might be a math. Yes, what's the reason behind that? He doesn't like the maths? No. He's not having interest? No, he's having interest. But he's suffering from math disability. That we call as a dyscalculia. What are the symptoms of dyscalculia? It's called as a number of dyslexia or math dyslexia. The people, those who are suffering from the math issues, unable to identify, difficulty in counting backward numbers, remembering the basic facts, formulas, digits, and they're weak in mental arithmetical calculations, a poor sense of numbers and estimation, difficulty in understanding the place values. They will feel so much trouble to understand the digits. They can't perform any activities regarding the math, such as when they're conducting any group activities, when they're conducting any circle time in the classroom. The child is unable to perform it. They're unable to identify the digit. It means they are suffering from the dyscalculia, math disability. What are the symptoms? What are the symptoms to cure this dyscalculia? How to overcome? How to face the kids? And how to bring out these kids from the shell of this disability? As usual, as a first thing, as I told you, the first the thing which we can handle to the child is to take out the child from the shell, talk to the child. First thing is we have to interact with the child with the positive note, bring some confidence in that, try to talk a lot, so that we can get come to know that what are the things, what are the situations they are going through in their mind and heart. Usually children, those who are suffering from dyscalculia, they will be very calm. Math concepts. Just write the simple formula on the board. Make it simple and clear. Ask some questions. Make it to parts. Divide the problem into the parts. Write the formula. Say the shortcut. Tell them how to explain it. Be open up with your child. So this makes the child to come up with some of the new doubts and or new queries they come to you. When you are doing these things, it might be helpful for the child, those who are suffering from dyscalculia. You can use a real life cues, physical objects, bring some physical objects, show it to your kids and ask some questions, digits, some marbles, some books, some pens, whatever is available to help your child to do into the max. Usually, max stands for the digits, so we can bring that related practical things and we can show to the kids. It's a great help for the child to understand and make them entertained and make them to get into the track of normal. Next, third one, dysgraphia. It involves impaired ability to produce legible and automatic letter writing and often numeral writing. So it means spelling trouble, putting thoughts on the paper. Okay. It is a neurological disorder that appears generally when children are learning to write fast. Experts are not sure what causes it, but early treatment can help or prevent to reduce the problem. As a beginning onwards, I was saying that have to talk to the child and we can have to find out what they're going through. Experts are also not sure. In this dysgraphia, the child usually cramped grip, which may lead to a sore hand, difficult to space out the things on paper or within the margins. Whatever they are learning in the classroom, they are able to gain it, but they are facing a difficulty to present on the paper. They are a bit poor in presenting paper skills. When we ask orally the questions, they perform very well. When it comes to perform on the paper in examination time, usually they'll face a lot of a trouble. The kids, those who are suffering from this, how to overcome? Frequently, they will erase their answers. Whatever they are writing, they are totally in a confusion mode. Simply, they'll attempt the answer on the paper, they're going to rub it. Again, they're going to present it. Again, they're going to do the same thing. Frequently erasing. Inconsistency in letter and word spacing. They will just write the letter, they will just strike out. Again, they will just write it. Again, they will strike out. They are just totally in confusion mode. They know what to write, they know, but they are having a lack of a writing knowledge. Less. They are suffering from poor in spellings, unfinished words, missing words, and missing letters. The children, those are suffering from this, or missing words or missing letters, they are suffering from dysgraphia disability. How to handle? How to handle? These are the ways to handle. Whenever we usually meet the kids in usually as a parents, as a teachers, and educators, as a trainers, we'll see different types of peoples around us, different types of kids. As our hands are not same, the kids' mentality, the kids' thought are not same. Usually, when we see them, the first thing what we can do is when we interact with them, we'll come to know that the kid is suffering from this. Just find out the solution for it. Just what are the ways to handle, how to handle them, how to get into them into the track as a normal track. It's not within fraction of days or within fraction of months. It's a lifetime process. We have to continue this to them. It's a continuous treatment, but it can be cured. It can be cured. How to handle dysgraphia? Next, first one, feels the letter, write the big letters. Kids with dysgraphia usually have trouble in remembering how to form the letters correctly. It means the children, as I told you, they are very good. They know it, but they're difficult to present. Just take a chalk, just write the big letters on the board and explain them these individual letters. What is this letter? What is, spell it out louder. Make it clear to the child so that the child can understand that yes, this is the letter, which makes the child to clear, which brings a confidence to a child, and which helps to come out of that shell. Practice in a day. Make sure to practice it every day. Start cross body training. Build strength and stability. Practice it organized storytelling. Speak it first. Storytelling. Just keep on saying some stories. Keep on saying some stories to the kids, which helps them to identify, which makes them to feel confident and trust that yes, my teacher or my educator will help me out in this. In this way, we can sort out this issue. Even in the fine motor and gross motor skills. Fine motor skills. Fine motor skills. Child needs involving small muscles of fine motor skills, such as finky fingers, holding pencils, scissors, grasping small things, and drawings. The child usually who is suffering from this, they're unable to even hold a pencil. They just feel a lot of trouble. They doesn't even hold the pencil in a proper manner. If the child is unable to hold the pencil, it's difficult for a child to present on the paper. Gross motor skills. Child needs involving large muscle development, sitting, crawling, walking, running, independent sitting. In the gross motor skills, we will make the child, the teachers, the special trainers, educators will be there. Particular organizations will be there. They will make them to train up in the as a gross motor skills. What are gross motor skills? It makes the child to sit, crawling, walking, running, independent sittings. These all things makes the child to move their hands, holding the pencils, scissors, grasping a small things, which makes some finger movements to make the child to present something. When we are doing this finger movements, then it's easy for a child to perform, to write, present in the paper. Next one, dyspraxia. What is dyspraxia? A disorder which causes problem with movements and coordination, language, and speech. It is also known as motor learning difficulties, perception, motor dysfunction, and developmental coordination and disorder. A person with dyspraxia has problem with movement, coordination, judgment, processing, memory, and other cognitive skills. The child who is suffering from dyspraxia, they are the coordination, language, and speech. It's very difficult to say. For example, if teacher is saying something to the child is able to understand, but the thing is he's unable to express themselves to the teacher. The coordination will be missing here over there. It's very difficult for them to say the exact what he feels inside. It's very difficult for him to present in front of the teacher. What are the symptoms we can see in dyspraxia? What are the symptoms? Main symptoms. In kids, poor balance, fatigue, clumsiness, differences in speech, poor hand eye coordination. Mostly. The children, those who are suffering from this, they are unable to move their finger movements even. Clumsiness, they are in totally clumsy movement. They always different, they doesn't know what to do, how to present. They doesn't have poor hand and eye coordination. Simply they just know what the teacher has taught them, they have to perform, but they doesn't know that what they are doing, it is not exactly correct. lack of coordination. Hand and eye coordination is missing. You can see in the picture PPT, when child is trying to tie the shoelace, it is some hand and eye coordination. With this, the child is doing some activity which makes the child to perform very easily, which makes the child to focus concentrated over his task. In this case, if as a teacher or an educator or a trainer, if we ask our kids to perform in that way, we can give some task just to open the bottle cap lid, open it, close it, open, close. Usually this activities makes the child to move the finger movement. Just take it, color sketch, and give them some white sheet, ask them to color it. Just hand movements. This hand movements just makes the child to give some easily to perform it well. It makes a coordination of hand and eye. It helps a lot in our kids to develop these skills. In adults, less close control, unclear speech, clumsy movement, easily frustrated, and low self esteem. When it comes to the kids, usually we can see that the adults are having a frustrated mindset. They usually confusion, clumsiness, speeches are not clear. As I told you, they are not that much expressive, and their low self esteem, their confidence levels will be very low here. It is mostly observed in school years, age group from age 4 to 5. How to handle? How to handle the children, those who are suffering from dyspraxia? How to overcome to these kids? First of all, pay attention to writing utensils and paper. Considering alternatives to activities requiring handwriting, choose a different activities for this type of a kids. Give some cubes, some objects, physical objects, bring it out, keep it in front of your kid. Usually they will enjoy a lot because they want to do some activity which makes them to help them develop their coordination skills, to develop their memory power, to develop their perception and motor dysfunction activities. Adjust seating plans, provide breaks in schedule, give some a break to your kids when they're performing an activity. A child is can't be continually, they can't perform in particular activity or particular task, they need some break. So just give some breaks. After the break, get back to them to activities. So it means just a refreshment to make them come out of that level. Continuous works also child can't, mostly dyspraxia kids. Give plenty of extra time. Again, as I mentioned, it's extra time we need to give to the kids, those who are having this part. Next, emphasize directions in step by step form. They has to emphasize the step by step form. There are some rules which the teacher or educator need to follow here to develop these skills in the kids. It's not simply we just pass over some suggestions to the kids, they just perform. The teacher should be with them until the activity, before the activity starts, until the activity completes. The teacher's coordination must be there with the kids. Teacher has to usually interact with the kids. Usually he or she needs to build the confidence in the kids that they can do it very well. Confidence is the first foremost thing. How to overcome? As just now, as I explained some points, you can see in the picture PPT, a teacher is talking with a child. Occupational therapy, speech and language therapy. The child is very notorious. The child is very difficult to present. The child is not at all opening the mouth. He is just simply standing. But we can see the teacher is trying to talk to him continuously and is trying to bring from out of his shell. And the teacher is trying to do the actions what this child needs. Basing on this child necessity, the teacher is bringing the child into a normal stage. Active play, what the teacher is doing, teacher is making the child to be as an active play, making the child to conduct some activities by asking some questions, going into the track of the child. We are not bringing the kids into our track, as we should go into their tracks. So it makes the child to feel comfortable. Yes, yes, we can do it. It's a self confidence which we can build as a teachers. Next one, dysphasia or aphasia. You can see in this picture, language and communication is main difficulty. Language is also a considered as output activity because it requires organizing thoughts in the brain and calling upon the right words to verbally explain something or communicate with someone else. So here it stands for struggling to find the words. They'll find to struggle the words. Anomia. They speak slow, single words, short fragments. When we ask a question, the child won't respond clearly. They will just say a one word to the teacher. That's it. They are struggling to find the words. Anomia. Facing difficulty in grammar, mixing up word orders. If a sentence is given, these kids, dysphasia kids usually mix up the words. The first sentence will go for third, third will come to second in the improper order. Usually they are having this problem. Substituting words or sounds using nonsensical words. They will use substitute the words. They doesn't know which word to use at which time. Usually they will be in a very confusion mode. So the children, those who are suffering from dysphasia, they are feeling a bit trouble, struggling in verbally communicating with others. You can see in the picture that how the teachers are motivating the kids. They're just making the child to speak. They are just speaking a lot, and the child is trying to listen what teacher is speaking. How to overcome? Retelling a story as well as conducting gaming activities such as a rhymes, ability to understand the meaning of words, parts of directions, etc. We have to retell the story. If any story is there in our text content, just tell the story to the kid. Ask them, ask them, what did you understand from the story? Just try to pull out the words which they are saying to us. Tell out all the words. I know mostly the kids won't be exactly, they won't give the answer. Just encourage them. Kids are very good listeners. Just get the answers from them. Encourage them. Make them to sit in one space, peaceful space. Make them to feel confidence. Conduct some activities and rhymes. Make them to read the rhymes as they are facing a problem in verbal communication. So make them to read the rhymes so that it makes them to clear in speech and communication is easy for them. Normal speed and intonation, nonsense words jargon, poor self-monitoring and awareness of errors, understanding often poor. Example, as I said that there are problem in communication, as I have given some pictures. Based on description of cookie that picture, this is mother is away here, working her work out here to get her better, but when she is looking, the two boys looking in other part. This is called a non-fluent dysphasia. Slow and hesitant, articulation errors, mostly used nouns, understanding is usually intact. In dysphasia, we are having fluent dysphasia and non-fluent dysphasia. Fluent dysphasia stands for the general basic struggling of the grammar, while stands for the non-fluent, whereas the it means they are facing difficulty into expressing and hesitant and articulation errors and mostly use it in the nouns. Understanding, they doesn't have much interaction with others. As I said, we should take initiation, we should go forward and we should interact with them. The next one, auditory processing disorder. Auditory processing disorder. Here it stands for it's a hearing problem that affects about 3 to 5% of school aged children. Kids with this condition known as central auditory processing disorder. They can't understand what they hear. It is because of ears and brain don't fully coordinate. Most of the kids, out of the 10 members, 3 to 5% of the kids in our daily life we can see suffering from APD. It stands for auditory processing disorder disabilities. It stands usually it is happened because the lack of coordination of the ears and the brain. They're having some ear issues. What are they? How can we come to know that they are suffering from this issue? Usually after giving instruction to the kid, after giving some lesson, after giving some class, after conducting a test, usually the child will ask the same question. Ma'am, what should we do now? What can I do now? It means they are suffering from APD disability. Following instructions, know where a sound came from, listen to the music, remember spoken instructions, particularly if there are multiple steps. They can't follow the instructions because they are having some ear issue, as they can't hear much. So that's the reason they can't follow the instructions. And they doesn't know where the sound has come from. They listen to music, but they doesn't know clearly what exactly it's coming. They can't follow the instructions what the teacher is giving to them. It makes them the child, it's very difficult for the child to understand these things, and we usually think that they are not listening to our words. We started discouraging the child. Rather than that, we have tried to understand and motivate the kid that we are suffering from the APD disability. How to handle, ways to handle for them: preferred seating, emphasize keywords, give kids a heads up and down when something important is coming, help with sequencing, assistive technology. You can assist the child with giving some important keywords. Just take a chart, paper, pen, just write it on the board and just show them, make it a big and just show them, and make it a clear, and make it clear to the kids so that they don't have any confusion to present to understand themselves. Here the situation is arising by listening. You can write it in a script and you can show to the kid. When you are doing this thing, it makes the child to be helpful and easy. Sequencing, help with sequencing. If anything we want to teach to the kids, especially those kids suffering from APD disability, just show them the cardboard or flashcards. Ask them to arrange in the sequential order. This makes the child to be perform well. It's an easy part for the teachers to understand, but they can do it. These are some of the tools. These are some signs of visual processing problems. See, usually finger flicking near eyes. Usually the kids, those who are holding the fingers near to the eyes and they're rubbing, it means they are suffering from this APD disorder. Hates and escalators, tilts head, hates and fluorescent lights, difficulty catching a ball, eye exams may be normal. Usually they doesn't have coordination between the ear and brain. They'll just perform what they want to do. That's it. Whether it's right or wrong, they will just perform. Auditory processing disorder is also known as central auditory processing disorder. There are the two names for APD disorder. Signs and symptoms. You can see the chart over here, blue color. Most our children are suffering from APD, auditory processing disorder. Dyslexia, very less. ADHD, it comes to the next. Has difficulty processing and remembering or recalling a non-verbal environmental sounds, may process thought and ideas slowly and have difficulty explaining them, misspells and mispronounces similar sounding words or omit syllables. They face a lot of difficulty in identify the basic grammar, syllables, phonics, phonetics, and everything. They'll find a lot of difficulty here. They will find it's slowly. They capture the letters into the brain very slowly. They can't understand. They can't even the alphabet also. For them, it looks like something different. We should make it clear. As I told you, make it right a big letters, show them, presenting the flashcards, asking some questions, asking something active, connecting some activities. This makes the child to be active, and it will be helpful for the child to come out of his boundary, come out of his shell. Usually the kids, those who are having these disabilities, they doesn't come out of the shell. They will be in the backstage. We have to bring it them out of the shell. Behavioral type peripheral hearing loss but normal audiogram. Scatter in results on psychological and language test will with weakness in auditory domains. May have poor musical skills, problems with fine or gross motor skills. Teacher and or parent concerned about hearing and listening abilities, and the audiogram is normal. The children mostly in nowadays in kindergarten itself we can find these issues. The beginning of the studies education system, they can find the kindergarten, this is very kids, they can find this type of issues. Next one, visual processing disorder. Visual stands for eyes, looking. The child has difficulty in seeing the difference between two similar looking letters, shapes, or objects. Here, the child, the teacher, whatever we says to the kids, usually they will understand. They understood, but they doesn't find much difference between letter A and letter B. Both are looking same. It means they doesn't find a difference. It means they are suffering from a disability of visual processing disorder. The shapes, the objects, the letters, whatever we are showing to them, they seems everything looks a similar. There is no change in that. How can we find this? How can you find this? Confusion arises in similar looking words, reverse letters, or numbers. They feel that a letter or number which you are writing on the board, it is just crawling or jumping or walking. The child might see these numbers or letters in this way, but actually the thing is, it is not the thing. They might be suffering from this visual processing disorder disability. It means they have a total confusion is there in their mind what is the exact letter stands for. They need a special attention from the teachers, special concern from the teachers. Have poor reading comprehension and speller. They are very poor in reading. They can't read much. Easily forgettable letters, numbers, or words. Having difficulty following multi-step directions. They face a lot of difficulty to follow the directions of the teacher because they feel it's everything confusion. When rather than teacher ask them any question, they say, yes, I know it. When it comes to perform, they can't perform it because they are very confusion mode. They will easily forget the letters. They're having a less memory power. Confuse similar looking words, easily forget the letters or numbers, be a poor speller, make errors copying. How to overcome them? How to overcome them? Classroom assistive listening devices. By using this assistive technology, personal FM headset style, speakers, desktop, it makes the child to listen. It makes the child to listen. As we know, as I said, that visual processing disorder child are usually face a confusion. They will have a confusion to identifying the same letters. They will have a lot of uh, difficulty to identify. For them, we can use these devices to make them to listen some audio, to play some rhymes, to play some songs, to play some videos, so that they can understand that what the teacher is going to tell. It's clear through this because every child may not be a same. Every child is having a different form of learning patterns. So basing on that, this is the best pattern. I feel we can use this as of now, as due to the situations of present scenario, everybody is going through the pandemic, as everybody is using these technologies. So we can prefer this technology, these devices, to make the child education effective. Next, it's a very important disability, attention deficit and hyperactive disorder. A disorder that includes a difficulty staying focused and paying attention, controlling behavior, and hyperactivity. Mostly, we will see in the kids, the classroom, they are very hyperactive. They won't stand, sit in one place. Hyperactive kids. And next, attention defect. Here we can see in the picture a person who is attentive in the class, but body is present, but mind is always absent. Attention won't be asked. Always thinking something else. So many questions are there in their mind. So much of confusion. But they listen the class. You can see in this picture how many questions are there, what the child is doing. You can see even in adults also this attention defect and hyperactive disorder. Adults also usually face a lot. It often begins in childhood and can persist into adulthood. It may contribute to low self esteem, troubled relationships, and difficulty at schoolwork. It has a treatment, it can be cured, but in some cases, it lasts a lifelong. This disability will last a lifelong because usually it is upon under their control. It's a nobody is controlling them. It's that particular specific child, specific adult is making themselves to be hyperactive. They are not contributing themselves to others. They are just keep on sitting one place, keep on distracting mind very easily, and this will last a lifelong. When teacher is saying something, they will listen the teacher, what teacher's instruction, but they won't follow. They will listen, they won't follow, because so much is running in their mind. Symptoms. How can we identify the symptoms? Being unable to sit, especially calm and quiet surroundings. Constantly fidgeting, being unable to concentrate on tasks, excessive physical movements, walking, sitting, crawling, jumping, unable to wait for their turn. They won't wait for their turn. Usually they keep on moving, keep on moving. Next, interrupting conversations. As I told you, they are very hyperactive. These kids usually ask us so many open-ended questions. Why, where, when, what. This makes a totally confusion because they are hyperactive kids. Problem focusing on a task, low frustration tolerance. Next, how to handle them. How to handle the kids. How to handle the kids, those who are suffering from ADHD. Learn to mediate them, get a plenty of exercise, pay attention to all good things about you. Just say the kid that just please sit in one place. Just relax for some time. Make them to give some mediation or some task, some yoga or meditation, which makes the child to be focused in one particular task. Usually their mindset, their brain usually go in different ways, here, there, and so many ways they will usually think. Whatever they see outside, everything comes in their mind. So we should take out that. Give some, ask them drink some water, relax for some time, relax. Ask them to recall what they have taught in the classroom. Give rewards, prizes when the rules are followed. Just prize them that if you are going to follow this instruction, you're going to get a best prize. Give clear, effective, directional commands. Give them a commands. Give them a polite command. It's not like strict ordering to them. Speak with them politely. Establish healthy habits. Help your child to build healthy relationships, strong social skills, and maintain friendships. Just make the child to feel comfortable with you and make the child to feel that my teacher is very cooperative to me. He's very friendly to me. She will never or ever going to do hurt me, or she's always trust me. Make this trust in your child's behavior. Get this child's trust. It happens only when we are having such a patience in our mind. Next, autism. As I told you, autism plays a key role nowadays. This is the last disability. Autism stands for always unique, totally interesting, sometimes mysterious. I already told you in the abbreviation itself, it is given totally interesting and sometimes mysterious. They looks like very interesting, but they are very difficult to understand. Autism people mostly we can find in children and even in adults too. Autism is a feeling, lifelong developmental disability which affects how people communicate and interact with the world. As these the kids, those who are suffering from autism, they can't usually interact with others. They have some communication barriers. They can't easily talk to them. Nobody will speak with autism kids because they are not at all being friendly. Actually, they are having disability of autism. What are the symptoms? Not responding to the name. When the teacher calls the name, they doesn't know. They doesn't react. Yes, they doesn't react. They know it is their name, but they are socially awkward child. They feel shy to respond to the teacher. Usually in children's, avoiding eye contact. They avoid eye contacts. No smile. Whatever we ask the questions, they will never give the smile for us. Getting very upset easily. Their mood will swing very easily. For the simple things, for the small turns, usually they'll flip. They'll say, I don't like it. Repetitive movements, clapping their hands, flicking their fingers, etc. Usually, the kids, those who are suffering from autism, they will usually move their hands, flicking the fingers, and doing the same repetitive action. It means the child is not interested to talk to us. Usually, when we see around us such type of a kids, we doesn't interact much. This child. this boy or this girl is not very happy to interact with me. But rather than that, we need to understand the situation, understand their condition, and we have to cope up with them. While coming the autism for adults, the most important thing in adults is getting very anxious on social situations. They will be very anxious. As I told you, any disability is in the child. When the child is growing up, usually that disability will be there. When the child will become elder also, the disability will be carried forward. But it will be cured until the teacher or parental support. If the teacher and parental are not at all going to support, they are not at all going to be cured. Then it's a lifelong support. Next, finding hard to male friends or preferring to be on your own always seems to be rude. They always seems to be rude. They always create their own shells. They won't mingle up. They won't cope up with other groups, with other friends. In adults, mostly they will be in their boundary. They never speak with anyone. They will be a bit rude. As I already told you that it can be only cured with love, care, and affection, and which we are showing to the kids and even in adults. Here I'm going to share some couples, those who are suffering from disabilities. Not only the couples or the normal human beings, you can see the Tom Cruise. We all know who is Tom Cruise is. He is also suffering from autism. He is also suffering from an autism. Nobody knows that. Many of the celebrities who are suffering from these disabilities. Do you think so that disability child can't perform well? Then it's totally the statement is wrong. A disability child can perform very well, and he has proven that. The couples such a loving way, the kids are learning in a different form. One of the teacher is helping the child and he's planting the water, and he's feeling very happy. It's because of the teacher's encouragement, teacher or parent. The causes of learning disability, genetic or hereditary factors. It can be many situations. Encouragement, talking to the child, making them to feel comfortable. Give the child what the child is needed. If the child needs something which he wants to do, encourage the child by doing that thing. Rather than discouraging them, just encourage them, motivate them, keep a smile, keep a long talk with the child that what you have done today. Parents and teachers, everyone, educators or trainers, if they do right, children usually do the mistakes, and we have to understand them and to understand the disability what they are going through and motivate them for their future projects and talk to them rather than blaming them that you have not done this correct, you have not done correct. Rather than blame that, encourage the child in that particular way, train the child in that way so that they can take a positive way. The main motto of my today's uh, webinar is to bring a clear notice to everyone that disability is not a disease. Disability is to show the society that it's a common thing which everyone is facing. As I'm the teacher in one of the organization, I face so many kids are being like this. I haven't treated anyone like that. Just understand what they are going through, how they are facing internally, try to sort out the issue, try to bring out from the shell and motivate them like as you are the parent for them. I hope everybody got a benefit from a webinar. I hope they understood few of the important points which I have shared. I'm expecting everybody to follow this thing. Thank you.
Actually, you had a very interesting discussion, Ma'am Afiba, and that was very informative and very enlightening to us. You have given us so much information about different learning disabilities, and you also taught us how to understand those kids who are suffering from those learning disabilities. The most important thing I think that we should keep in mind is the words understanding and patience for those kids. We need to understand them, and then we also need to be very patient to them. And also another thing that I've learned from you is we need to be very supportive. Both we as teachers and also the parents needs to be very supportive with those kids. And also one important thing that you should develop among these kids is to develop self-confidence. We need to develop them self-confidence. It was very interesting, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. It's my pleasure. And once again, thank you so much to you and to the sir, both of you, Camrul sir and Mary Beth, ma'am. It's a great pleasure. It's a great and warm welcome both have given to me. Uh, it's a wonderful opportunity to be the part of Institute of Global Professionals. I would like to perform so many activities, so many presentations in this same platform. Expecting soon. Thank you.
Yes, that will be great. We are going to look forward for that. Thank you so much. We are going to have our quiz competition first. Then I will be calling you back in the Q&A part of the program. Okay. Thank you, ma'am. My dear audience, let me remind you again, don't forget to like and share, tag your friends in the comment box. Remember that your attachment encourages us to do better and to provide us with our best service. Thank you for your support. We will give the e-certificate link in the comment box. And if you encounter any problem collecting your e-certificate, please go directly to our website, that is www.eduigp.com. Then after collecting your e-certificate, don't forget to celebrate with IGP by your check-in. We will give you the certification process later before the end of program. At this moment, we will now proceed to the most exciting part of our program, the live quiz competition at slido.com. Okay, everybody, I'm inviting you to go to www.slido.com or to the link mentioned below, and our code is quiz IDP. We have 21 users who have already joined in our quiz competition. Okay, I am inviting everyone, please join our live quiz competition at slido.com. Okay, this will be fun, guys. Come on. You still have a minute to join. Okay, we're still waiting for you. I hope everybody's ready now. I could already see lots of participants joining. You may join by going to slido.com. Just use the code flash on our screen, that is quiz IGP. The top 10 will receive the quiz completion certificate after the competition. Okay, are you ready? Okay, we have our first question. What is learning disability? Is it neurological disability that makes it harder for you to learn new things, or fear of success in school? 97% answered neurological disability that makes it harder for you to learn new things, and that is the correct answer. On our leaderboard, we have Cristina Del Rosario as rank 1, followed by Alex Javier Alvarez, and then followed by Ana Marie Joy Mercado. Okay. Question number 2. Learning disabilities, speech or language impairment, mild intellectual disability, and emotional disturbance are example of low incidence disability or high incidence disability. Okay, the correct answer is high incidence disability, and only 48% of the participants were able to get it correctly. Then on our leaderboard, we have Mark Joshua Diego, followed by Leia Facunla, and then Lizelle Gabaldon. Next question. High incidence disabilities are disabilities that are not common in the classroom or disabilities that are common in the classroom. The correct answer is disabilities that are common in the classroom, and only 44% got it correctly. Then on our leaderboard, we have Leia Facunla, followed by Mark Joshua Diego, and next is Evelyn Wapari. Question number 4. When caring for people with learning disabilities, procedures should be followed, including support a person to access appropriate health care or speaking for them, causing them lack of independence. Speaking for them, causing them lack of independence. Okay, 100% of the participants answered correctly. That is supporting a person to access appropriate health. Okay, and on our leaderboard, Leia Facunla, followed by Mark Joshua Diego, and next is Evelyn Waferi. Next number, types of a specific learning disability include all of the following except reading disability and social functioning disability. 75% of the participants answered social functioning disability, and that is the correct answer. On our leaderboard, we have Leah Takunla, followed by Evelyn Otari, and then Lizelle Gabaldon. Next question. Oftentimes, people with learning disabilities are thought to be just lazy. Is it true or false? Okay, the correct answer is true. 68% of the participants were able to get it correctly. On our leaderboard, we have Evelyn Waperi, followed by Leah Facunla, and then Lizelle A. Gabaldon. Next question. Students with learning and behavioral disabilities usually receive accommodations or both accommodations and modification. 100% answered both accommodations and modifications, but that is not the correct answer. The correct answer is accommodations. Nobody got it correctly. Okay, next number. On our leaderboard, we still have Evelyn Wapari, followed by Lizelle Gabaldon. Next number. Students with learning disabilities have received adequate instruction and are not disadvantaged or have in normal intelligence. Okay, the correct answer is have received adequate instruction and are not disadvantaged. 63% of the participants were able to get it correctly. Okay, we have Evelyn Wapuri, followed by Leah Facunla and JC Rain R. Rosales on our leaderboard. Question number 9. How many levels of learning disabilities are how many? I think it's how many levels of learning disabilities are there? Are there 2 or 3? The correct answer is 3. 54% of the participants were able to get it correctly. Okay. On our leaderboard, we have JC Rain Rosales, followed by Leah Facunla, and then Evelyn Wapari. Question number 10. This is our final question. All of these are possible cause of intellectual disabilities except A, allergic reaction, B, genetic reaction. 86% answered an allergic reaction, and that is the correct answer. Okay, congratulations to our top 10 winners. We have the following winners: JC Rain R. Rosales. Number 2 is Leah Facunla. Number 3 is Evelyn Wapari. Number 4 is Maria Veneranda Z. Campos. Number 5 is Lizelle Gabaldon. And number 6 is Veneranda Jordan. Number 7 is Richelle Flaviano. Number 8 is Crispiano Di Candido. Number 9 is Andrea Sigalieno. Number 10 is Daniel Atienza. Congratulations. You will have your quiz completion certificate in a little while. It will be posted on our IGP's Facebook page. Thank you so much and congratulations to our top 10 winners. To those who did not win, we still have our chance in our upcoming webinars. Okay, thank you. We'll now move to the most awaited part of the program, which is the Q&A part. Please start sending your questions now. In the meantime, let's enjoy watching this short video. Once again, let's welcome back our speaker for today's webinar, Ma'am Mohamed Afipa from India. Hello, ma'am. Are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's just wait for a few minutes or a few moments for our audience to type in their questions. You may start sending your questions now. I have here a question for you. One of the disabilities that you have mentioned a while ago is about poor vocabulary skills. How can we help those children with poor vocabulary skills to improve their learning?
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Actually, poor vocabulary skills mostly it starts from the kindergarten age. At the age of 4 to 5, they are beginning itself. They are facing this vocabulary skills. These can be developed, but the easily it is very easy because small kids are like whatever we are saying them, they'll just simply they'll follow whatever the teachers or parents are instructing them. We can easily take we can place up a video and we can start playing them and make them to listen some important rhymes or devotional songs and make them to listen continuously. It makes them to understand and explain them what is going in that. The next, take a paper, take a pen and just write some skills, write some letters there and ask the kids to scribble over that and make them to read slowly, slowly start from the letters, then again 2 letter words, 3 letter words, double letters, 3 letters, slowly, slowly increase the pattern, increase the strength. It makes the child to understand the vocabulary and it helps to identify the letters and it increases the confidence level of the child and it will increase the vocabulary skills.
Okay, I have another question before I read the first question here. In what age do we identify that a child has a learning disability? Is it as early as infanthood, or is it in the preschool or in the elementary level?
Yes. At
What
what
grade or what age?
at what age we can find disability? Every child, not only a child, a person is also having a suffering from a types of disabilities. Okay, usually we can start from the beginning. In the childhood age only we can easily identify if the teacher pays attention over the child, if teacher observe the child, does this child is facing this issue in a math or in vocabulary skills or in writing skills or in reading skills, in some particular disability types are there. Basing on the disability, if the child is, if the teacher can differentiate, the teacher is having a prior knowledge about that disability, she or he can easily identify a disability what is going through. From the beginning of the childhood only we can identify a disability.
Okay,
Is
let me
stammering,
read the. Yes,
is
let me read the.
stammering, yeah ma'am, is
Yes,
stammering
yeah,
a form of
allow me to
learning
read, ma'am. I will be reading it for you. Okay,
Thank you.
this question is from Innocent
No, ma'am.
Dayang. Dayang
Stammering is not
is
a learning disability. Actually, it's not a learning disability. It's just an the issue usually arises in the vocal cords usually. So that's the reason they can't speak fluently. So it's not at all a disorder actually. When it will gone after certain years, after taking some proper medications, that stammering will be gone and that it won't stands under disability. No need to bother. It's not a disability at all. It's just there a problem of pronouncing words or letters. It can be cured. It can be cured. Usually, we can take an example of mine. When I was a small kid, I was suffering from a stammering a lot. Whenever I have to speak in front of anyone or elders, usually I used to get a stammer with my tense. But it's not a disorder actually. But when I grown up, slowly, slowly, as due to my parents' confidence and due to I was very motivated, I decreased that stammering habit. Right now, you can see how much I'm talking fluently. So it's not a disorder, disability.
okay. Thank you, ma'am. We have here the next question from AK Adhikari. Which disability is most effective in education?
Okay. Which disability is most effective education? It's a very wonderful question, sir. Mostly we can see in dyslexia is best. Actually, mostly we are facing a problem of dyslexia, difficulty in reading, As I'm a teacher, I can see most of the kids are suffering from dyslexia. They are very difficult to read. First, I would say suggest a dyslexia. Second part, visual processing disorder. Usually, they are having not having any coordination what the heart and the brain and ears will. They will just listen. They won't correlate with the teachers what they're saying. They simply don't follow the instructions. This is called a visual processing disorder. So first, I say dyslexia is the most. The second, visual processing disorder. The third one, autism. Autism kids we can see, and adults also. There are so many people those are suffering from autism. Simply they will sit like as a normal person, but they won't react much. They won't interact much. It means they are suffering from autism. They are very shy towards present to the society. They don't want to present themselves to the society. They don't want to come out of the shell. So autism also it's very most effective in education system. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that wonderful answer. Next question. Okay, Dr. Afipa, would you recommend audiobooks over actual books for children with dyslexia? This question is from Andeng Galliano.
Thank you, Anding Galino, sir. It's a good question, actually. Yes, I would recommend audiobooks. It helps. It helps a lot because dyslexia is a disability where the child faces a difficulty in reading. If they see a particularly such poems or rhymes or any movies or something related to the pure devotional relating to the concepts, education or grammar, usually they will get an interest or habit to learn it. They'll get some a passion to learn that. Showing something comic to them, showing some comic to them and ask them that what is happening, ask them what is happening, and usually they'll ask so many questions. Show them some drama without any dialogues. Ask them to give some own dialogues. Ask them to speak something, encourage them, just like a fun based learning. Through these activities, through these audiobooks, actual books and videos, we can make the child to speak. Usually the dyslexia is about the reading disability, so obviously here it comes as we can overcome easily through this. Thank you. Good question, ma'am. Actually, it is.
Okay, thank you, ma'am, for that answer. Let's have the next question. This is from Innocent Dayang. Dahang? Okay, where do we place blind or partially blind students? Should we have special school for the children, for them, or have them in a conventional school?
Yes, ma'am. There are some special education schools, SC special education schools, where the disability children will be treated specially. The education for disability children should be treated separately. The education system, the teachers, the trainers, educators will be separately. In our culture, in our tradition, it's mandatory to have a special education for these kids. Obviously, the blind or partial blind students will be in separate schools. It's no doubt in that. Well, coming to the special schools for the all the types of disabilities I have mentioned today in my presentation, there can be a special schools for them. Specifically, only for the special teachers will be allotted for them. They will take care basing on that. When we comes to the other schools, they are also they can be identified. They will easily identify that the child is suffering from disability. But I feel that some of the education schools, some of the schools, they doesn't care much on the kids. Better than that, I prefer special schools for special children.
Okay, so we should have special school for special children. Next question. Shall we have our next question?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay, I'll be reading it. It is not yet posted, but allow me to read our next question. Hi, Ma'am Apipa. I have encountered students which seems to have attention seeker and very playful and keeps on cutting classes. Can we consider him having ADHD Or what are the obvious symptoms of ADHD for students to consider as one?
Yes, ma'am. Yes. It's a very wonderful question, actually. Usually, I face every day in my class. Usually, in a class, every child wants attention seeking from the teacher. Their child wants the teacher to observe themselves, to pay some special attention on them, and they want the child to be uh, focus on them. They just want the child to listen only themselves, rather than focusing on the particular child. Just keep on saying that you are disturbing my class, you are irritating my class, you are making more noise. Rather than saying that one, just allot some additional work for that type of a kids, which they feel very convenient, which they feel very interesting to do. When we are going to give some allotment of some additional works to that type of a kids, usually their mind won't go in other way. They won't disturb the class. To control their hyperactive nature, we can give some additional works to such type of kids. We can't restrict them, we can't stop them by doing that. If we do that thing, it is going to be another level of uh, steam. So rather than that, we should give some additional work. We should have some handful of activities when we enter the classroom. When one activity has been completed, when one child have done, one super kiddo has done everything perfectly, within 5 minutes, give some another additional activity, which makes the child to be busy, which makes the child to engage in that activity. In this way, we can balance the hyperactive kids and the other kids in the classroom. Thank you.
So we need to keep them busy all the time. Our next question is from Abelino Perry. Good afternoon, ma'am. Which disability can be detected early? Thank you.
Yes. Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon, ma'am. Which disability can be detected early? As I mentioned, beginning itself, all the disabilities is a lifelong process. It should be continuing a lifelong. It should be continued lifelong. There is no specific time. That lifelong also depends upon the person who is taking care of the person. If we are giving a proper care, attention, time, confidence, everything we are providing to our child or our student, definitely they will cure as early as possible. But I personally suggest, it's my opinion, is autism is the thing where we can cure a bit early. Because autism people are too much anxious, too much shy. They won't come out from the shell very easily. Usually we can motivate them, we can encourage them, we can, I feel the autism kids or autism people, we can bring out them, it can be detected easily, I personally suggest.
Okay, next question, please. Okay, we have from Jamela and Hieronymo. Hello, ma'am. Mohammed, if we give some quizzes or tests to students with learning disabilities, is it different from the other student? Is it different from the other students? Shall we give
Yes.
different tests?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, yes. Obviously, if we give some quizzes to test to the students with learning disabilities, it is different from other students. Actually, what I suggest, ma'am, when we are entering into the classroom, we should not differentiate the kids like you are a special kid, you are a good, you are a bad. Just treat them, everyone is equal. Just keep in your mind who are suffering from disabilities. Just make them to sit in one corner. It's not like they should not know, they should not have any knowledge that you are treating them as somewhat of special. Make them, everybody are equal in the classroom. Okay. Give some quizzes, conducting some quizzes, the quizzes should be like equal to everybody. We can't differentiate them, these are separate quiz for them, these are separate quiz for them. When we are doing this separation part in one classroom, it might hurt them like anything, it just usually hurt their feelings. I suggest this type of quizzes can be conducted separately, in separate classroom, separate time. Separation should be there. We should not mix them with other kids, because usually every child want to be same. Every child want to be good in teacher's perspective. When one child is getting one type of a quiz and other child will getting other type of a quiz, usually there is a problem of misunderstanding and it leads to some other ways. So I suggest to conducting quizzes for the disability kids, separate room, separate timing, separate schedule will be should be given. Then we can provide them. Then they doesn't feel when we are doing in separate. They doesn't feel. They feel all are our friends. Nobody is special. Everybody got the same paper.
Okay, thank you, ma'am, for that answer.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, let's see if we have more questions. So we can give separate, different quiz, but we should provide different
Yes, ma'am.
room for them. They should
Yes.
not stay in the same classroom.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, do you have more questions? Okay, I think that completes the Q&A part of the program, ma'am. Ma'am Apipa, thank you so much for being with us today. To all the participants who actively participated in the Q&A part, thank you so much for all your questions. And I hope that you have gained enough understanding, huge understanding of today's webinar. To our speaker, again, thank you so much for gracing our event today. We look forward in seeing you again here in our upcoming webinars. And thank you, Mom. Before you go, you might probably have some parting words or final words for our audience.
Yes. Yes, ma'am. Yes. Thank you so much. Once again, I would like to thank each and everyone who have participated in Institute of Global Professionals, and the ma'am for you specially, and sir, both of you, for your warm heart welcome. It's I feel so confident with you both, and so comfortable. And some of them have sent on a text box in the FB page that negative attitude of some teachers. I would just like to give some small my opinion regarding this. Some teachers towards slow learners affect learning. I think it's a contributory factor towards increasing learning disability through the creation of fear in the children. Am I right? Yes, ma'am. The innocent Dajang, ma'am. Good evening. Yes, it's exactly correct. As just I told in my webinar that negative feedback and negative comments on the child may spoil, decrease them their confidence level. Don't ever decrease a child with the negative words. Just encourage them, motivate. Only with the good words, polite words, with the lovable words only, we can encourage the child to perform well. Mostly, this disability needs a lot of patience, lot of care, attention, everything it needs. Special attention. They needs a special kids. They are not disabled kids. They are just, I say, they are special kids, special children, special kids. That's it. Just treat them with a love. That's it, and it will be cured. Thank you. And thank you once again for giving me this wonderful opportunity to perform in this platform. Once again, I thank each and everyone heartfully. And I would like to perform the next time also in Institute of Global Professional. I'm waiting for that. And the next time, I would like to come up with a great topic overhead. Thank you so
That
much.
was that was great.
Thank you.
Once again, thank you so much, Ma'am Mohammed Afifa from India. Thank you for all the knowledge that you have shared to us today. Thank you for your marvelous presentation, and I am very sure that everybody are satisfied with your answer, with your wonderful answers to all their questions. Once again, thank you so much, Ma'am Afifa. Thank
Thank you.
you for being with us today and for gracing our event. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you. Have a great day to everyone.
Have a great day, ma'am. This has been a very rewarding day because of our lovely and beautiful speaker for today. You're beautiful, ma'am. To my fellow knowledge seekers, I'd like to thank all of you for attending today's session. Let me thank you from for being so patient and attentive throughout the webinar. Hopefully, you have learned something new today that will be useful in your life. The beautiful thing about learning is nobody can take it away from you. That is from BB King. If you learned something or we have been helpful to you, even in just a little bit, please leave a review on our page. And also, don't forget to like and subscribe to our Facebook page, Facebook group, and YouTube channel. Please spread the information about IGP to your friends and to your colleagues. Don't forget to collect your e-certificate after the session and give a check-in with IGP. You may collect your certificate from our website or through the link mentioned below. And our code for today is IGP 4987. 4987. Our code for today is IGP 4987. The date today is March 28th. Today's program name is Types of Learning Disabilities. Without code, no one is eligible for certificates. With code you can claim your certificates anytime. Without an account on our website, you can visit, but you cannot do anything functional. So again, please take down notes or take a screenshot of our code for today. That is IGP 4987. Okay, that is very important when you are collecting your certificate. To collect your e-certificate, please go to www.eduigp.com. Make sure to log in using your account, or if you are just new, please create an account. Then using your account, click free webinars. Choose today's webinar date and title. Click the bar enroll now. Once you get enrolled, enter the code for today, then click the bar Get Your Certificate. Your e-certificate will be auto-downloaded to your device. Remember, our code for today is IGP 4987. Well, that concludes our program for today. To all the IGP Pre-International webinar participants, thank you so much for your unwavering support. Thank you for your active participation, and thank you for your heartwarming messages. Remember, IGP is always here to render you our best service. At this point, I would like to thank and congratulate the whole Team IGP for another successful live session. That's all for today. We hope to see you all again in our upcoming webinars. Remember, all things work together for good to those who love God and to those who are called according to His purpose. Thank you so much. Stay happy, stay safe. Again, this has been your host, Marbeth from the Philippines, signing off. To God be the glory. Bye.